video on how to use docs on your phone for word processing, and one of the apps you can use is DOCS, Docs by Google. So if you have documents already, it's going to be outlined like this, but if you don't have, it will be plain. And if you want to start a new document, all you need to do is to click on plus. You could either start with a blank document or you choose a template. So if you're using a template, you just click on choose template, and you could select any template of your choice, any template. So if I'm choosing this, you just click on it, it comes up and you start working on it. So word processors are used to create letters, proposals, CVs, any document of your choice. That's what we use word processors for. Up. So now that it's up, this is already a template. All you need to do is just to edit it. So if you have your company name, you can just write it like so. You've already, this is how to use templates. You just put your address. So this is how to use templates. You just edit, and whenever you finish editing your work, always make sure you click on this checkbox. You click on this checkbox. Once you click on it, it's done. All right, once you click on it, it is saved. If you want to go back to work on it, you click on this edit, you click on this text and you edit. So that's how to use templates. Now I'm going to use this as a lesson plan. If you want to select all you need to do is just to click on the screen, hold it down, you click on these three dots and you can select all the documents. Okay, so you either cut it. If you cut it, you will not have a copy, but if I click on copy, I still have a copy here and I can use it anywhere I want to. So I'm going to go back. Now if you want to start with a new blank document, you click on new document and your new document opens. So I want to use the text I copied from that template. You paste it here. Can you see? So I've pasted it here. So let's assume I just typed this document. I'm going to explain the different interface here. So to edit this work, for my address, I'm going to click here and say enter. This is the enter button. I'll say enter, and then for this part of the address I say enter, and then this is our dear whatever. Okay, so now this back arrow is used for going back in case you make a mistake. You know, I just pressed enter, so if I click on back, it takes me back to the previous task. If I click on this, it takes me to the new task. Okay, so this is our undo button. If you're using a desktop, the undo is called Control Z. Control Z. So this is the undo button in case you make a mistake and you want to go back. If you want to redo it, you click on this arrow and you redo it. All right, so next we have our format button. This A is called the format button. I'm going to click on it, and once you click on it, you have options of your text. You could increase the size, you could make it bold and all that. You could do a lot of functions here. Okay, so we're going to work on all these buttons. So let's say I want to change the text of this KDAS. I highlight. Now how do you highlight? You hold down your screen and you drag. That's how to highlight. And once you've highlighted, different options comes up. Do you want to cut? Do you want to copy? Do you want to paste? If you click on these three dots, do you want to select all? Do you want to insert a link? Or do you want to add comment? All right, so for now we want to format, so I'll click on this format button here. So I'll click on this format button and I can change the text. Now, do you want the text to be a normal text or a header or a title? Going to make the size. Okay, so I'll make it a title and it becomes big. You could change the font right here. So let's change the font. Can you see it has changed? You could change the font right here. So you select the font, whatever you want. You could increase the size. It's how to increase the size. All right, or you reduce it. You could increase the size or reduce it. Next, you could make it bold, that is more thick. You could make it italics, that's slanting, or you could underline it. So if you want to underline your text, like for a headline, you just click on underline and you've underlined it. Okay, then if you want to strike your text, let me say I select this one. For example, if we're typing naira or you want to strike a text for discount, you click on this and it strikes it through. All right, that's how to strike a text. Then if you want to put a superscript or a subscript, yeah, you click on this and you now have a subscript. That's how to make a subscript or a superscript. I click on this, like if you're typing formulas, that's how to do it. Okay, then the next is the text color. You use this to change the text color. Right now we have black as our default, so if you want to change the text color, you click on this and you could change the text color to anything that you want. All right, so that's how to change the text color. The next is the highlights. You want to highlight the text behind, you just click on it and let me say blue. So you could highlight a text, give it a highlight color, or you make it plain. Understand, that's how to give a highlight color, like a background color. Okay, so I'll go back. Then next, this is our alignment. All right, this is our alignment. Now for this dear Mrs. Reader, it's left aligned. If you want to align it to the right, you click here and you say center. It's aligned to the center. If you click on this, it's aligned to the left. All right, then we have what we call justify. Now justify aligns it both left, right, and center. So now let's watch this word. Let me use this one so that you see the effect. Right now this is left aligned. I'm going to select all, like so. If I click on center, it moves to the center. If I click on right, it moves to the right. But if I want to justify it, just look at what happens once I click on it. Okay, you're not seeing the effect here. Let me do it again. Okay, maybe I'll show you another example of how the justify works. It aligns it both left, right, and center. It aligns both left, right, and center. Okay, can you see? It just worked here. Let me undo it so that you see it. Can you see? Once I click on justify, it aligns it both left, right, and center. Okay, now the next ones are called your indents. Your indent, in case you want to make a paragraph. I want to make a paragraph. So once I click on this, can you see? I've made a paragraph. In case you want to make a paragraph, that's when you use your indent. This for paragraph. Okay, so the next one is if you want to have bullets. You're typing and you want to make bullets. Okay, so I just click on this. Once you do this, you have your bullets. So I can type. If I say enter, can you see? You have your bullets. In case you want to make a list, you have your bullets. If I want to make it dotted, I click on this and I have different options. Okay, I can make it dotted. Can you see it has changed to a dotted bullet? I could make it to be arrows. It can change. So that's how to do your bullets. If you want to make it numbers, you click on this and you have numbers. So you have numbers or you have letters. All right, so that's how to use the bullets. Okay, then the next is line spacing. Now line spacing is a spacing between 2 or 3 lines. All right, so I'll just select this. The regular line spacing is 1.5. so if I increase it like so, can you see this is 1? Can you see it's now tight? If I click on this, if I make it 1.5, can you see the spacing? That's the line spacing, the spacing between the lines. So I could like reduce it like this, like this, like this. So if you want the spacing to be tight, but the default size spacing is 1.5. This is the default size spacing. Okay, then we have what we have. If you want to type in columns, this is if you want to type in columns like newsletters. When you see a newspaper where they type in columns. So right now we just have one column, that's why it's single. If you click on double column, it's going to be double, so I can type. Can you see? So you have 2 columns. So this, if you want to type in columns, let's just click here and type this. So you have this. If I click on this part, so that's how to have 2 columns. Okay, so you can open it up to see the spacing in between the columns. This is a spacing in between the columns. All right, this is spacing in between the columns. Okay, so that's how to use the format. Next off, we go to the plus sign. The plus sign enables us to insert images or anything we want. So I'll just click on the plus sign. Once you click on the plus sign, you could insert anything from your phone. Now, in case you want to insert a link, you click on link, you click on text and put the title of the link. Let's say this, and you come here and you click your link. You click your link. So let's just say I have, let me just select any link here. Okay, so I've typed this link. I just click on this. Can you see I have my link? It's underlined. So once you see anything underlined in blue, that's called a hyperlink. So I'll just do it again. If I want to make a link here, I'll just click on the plus. I'll say link. You must always give it a title so that it looks better, so that the link is not all long. Okay, let me press a link without putting a title so that you see how it looks like. And then I'll just go up and I'll click on this link and say okay. Can you see that the link is so long? It doesn't really look nice. So it's always good to add a title. So I could just click on it. I can edit the link, change it to another link, or I can put a title. So if I click on edit link, I can give it a title right here and just title it Instagram. Okay, I'll just title it Instagram so that it looks neat. It looks neat. So I say okay. Can you see this is a hyperlink? Once I click on it, it takes me to the website of that particular link. So that's how to insert a link. If you click on the plus, you can insert a comment. That's when we're sharing files. We'll get to that. I can click and insert an image. So this is how to insert an image. I just come here and choose any image of my choice. Okay, I'll just choose any image of my choice, and I've inserted an image. Now this image, we could reduce the size. Now how do we reduce the size of this image? You must make sure if you're on mobile, you're on the print layout, okay? But on the laptop, you could just reduce it. You could see the angles. So I'm going to click on these 3 dots and I'm going to enable print layout mode. Now enable it. Once I enable it, can you see I can now reduce my image? I can reduce my image. So I'll just click on it and I can reduce it like so. Can you see? I can reduce it from any of the angles. So that's how to reduce your image. You know, we're typing in columns before. So everything is in 2 columns, this first page. So this is how to reduce your image. Enable the print layout and you could reduce the size of your image. Enable the print layout and you can reduce the size of your image. Okay, so we're going to continue typing. Next under the plus, okay, you could insert a table also. You could insert a table. So I'm going to take it back. I'm going to remove it from columns so that it's just straight. I'm going to remove it from columns. So I'll go to format. I'll just select all. go to format and then remove it from columns and make it single. I want it to be single so that we don't have the column stuff anymore. All right, so I'll go ahead and increase. Can you see? I'll go ahead and increase. So this was the image we brought. We could make it bigger, we could make it bigger, or we'll make it smaller. So that's how to reduce your size. Okay, then next off, we could go ahead and insert a table. So let's say we are here. Want to insert a table, just click on table and you could select the number of rows and the number of columns and you insert. So this is how to insert your table. You could put date and you could put names, you could put here items and so on and so forth. And you could reduce the size of the column. For example, once I click on this, I could drag. Can you see? So I've reduced the size of this particular column, the dates. I've reduced the size. The names can be longer. The items, maybe I could reduce the size of the column. Also the rows, once you click on this, you could reduce the size. Can you see? And you can increase the size. That's how to increase the size of your table and all that. Okay, so next off, we'll come over here. This is our format, shortcuts for the formatting. You understand? Just like the format button, you could make it bold, italics, underline. You could change the text color here. You could change the text color here. You could change the highlight color here. That's the background. Okay, this is for our alignment and this for our listing. Okay, now once you finish typing your document, we're going to learn how to share. You click on these three dots. You could give your document a title here. So I'll just come over here and put the title of this document and make it demo. That's the title of our document. All right, so I've named our document. Now the viewing mode is to suggest the mode you want it to look like. We're not going to use that option for now. Then find and replace is used for if you're looking for a particular word in this document. Okay, so I'm going to just select date. Once I click on date, can you see it has found date for me? So you can use your find and replace when you're looking for a particular word in a document. Next we go off. I've clicked on it. I'll say okay. I'll click on the three dots and then next we have page setup. Okay, spell check. If there are wrong words, just do a spell check and it will give you the words are not correctly spelled. Next you could go up and do a page setup. All right, so now for your page setup, you could make it portrait or landscape. Now portrait is when it's longer from the top to the bottom. Landscape is when it looks like a rectangle. So I could make it landscape or I could make it portrait. Okay, that's the orientation of the page. You could set up your page size. Normal papers we use for printing is A4, so you set it up. You set up your page size. You could give your page a color. Yeah, you could make your page colorful. Let's see how the purple looks like. So you could make your page colorful. This is how to make your page colorful. Okay, so next off we're going to go into sharing our documents. Now this make a copy is used when somebody shares a document to you and give you just a view access. He doesn't want you to edit it. Now if you want to have a copy for yourself, you click on make a copy. So maybe when somebody sends a document to me that has just a view access, I'll click on make a copy and you can now have a copy for yourself. All right, but if you want to share this document, there are different ways to share it. You could share it with multiple people. All right, so how do you share? You click on this share, and if you want people to be co-authors with you, you just invite them through their emails. All right, there are different ways of sharing. You could share directly to people's emails or you could share with a link. Now if you want to share to people's emails, all you need to do is just to type the email of the people, select it, and you give them the access you want. Do you want them to be editors? Fine. If you don't want them to be editors, you want them to be viewers, you click on viewer and you can make them a viewer. They only need to view this file, and once you give a view access, they'll get a notification on their emails, and once they receive this document, they can only read through it, they can only view. But if they want to have a copy for themselves, that's when they will click on make a copy, and they will have access to a copy where they can edit and all that. All right, so I'll just click on send, and that is I'm sharing with this particular person. I'm sharing with this particular person. Okay, so that's how to send. I've shared this document with this person already. The person will get an email notification. I give the person an edit access, and they can have a copy of this document. Now, you could also share with a link. Can you see? I sent it to myself. So I've gotten an email notification. I'm going to open that later towards the end of the video. Okay? Can you see? Can you see? It says document shared with you, demo. So once I open it, I'll be able to edit this document. All right, this is it. Okay, let's quickly do that. So I'll open it. Let's see how it looks like when a document is shared with you. Let's see how it looks like. So it's coming up. All right, so this is how it looks like. You receive an email like this, and it said the email grants access to this item. So I'll just click on open, and here we go. I have the document with me. All right, so now we'll continue working on this particular document. Now, if you want to share it with a link, you need to give access for the link before you copy. All right, so I'll just click on share. Can you see? Because I shared this document with this particular person, you could see the access here. So I'll click on manage access. Now, these are the people that have access to this document. This person has a viewer access. All right, I'm the owner. Now, if I want to share with a link, I'll just click on restricted. All right, I'll click on change. I'll click open, and now I'll make it anyone with the link. That's how to share this document with a link. I'll click on anyone with a link. Can you see? So now anybody with this link has access to this document. First off, you either give a viewer access, a commenter access, or an editor access. Okay, that's how to share a document with a link. Now I'm giving editor access. Now, how do I get the link? Can you see this ring up here? I'll just click on it, and I've copied the link. Okay, I've copied the link. So that's how to copy the link. Right here, if you want to share, you click on share. You could invite more people. Okay, or you click on the copy link, share and export. You click on copy link, and you've copied the link to your clipboard. Now that particular link, I can share it to multiple people. I'll just go to WhatsApp right here, and I'll just click up here. I'll click on the link, paste it. Now this is the link to that document. Okay, can you see? Once I send it, anybody with this link has access to this document. So this is how to get link to your document, but you must specify the access you want the people to have. All right, now if you want to have a copy of this document, not with a link, not sharing it with people, you want to have a copy to yourself, you click on send, save as. But if you want to send a copy to people as a document, not as a link, not inviting them. If you want a Word document, you click on Word. If you want PDF, you click on PDF, whichever one you want. So if you click on Word, they can open it on a Word processor and edit. All right, if you click on PDF, mostly professional, you just click OK, and it's going to share this document as a PDF. All right, it's going to share this document as a PDF. So I'll go ahead and select WhatsApp. Can you see? I'm sending it to myself, and then you'll see it right here. It's a PDF document. Can you see? This is a PDF document sent to myself. So you could send it to multiple people as a PDF. All right, so next off we go right here. If you want to save it as a document on your phone, you go to the share and export, and you can click save as, and it saves directly to your phone. Now you're not sharing, you're not sending it to anybody, you're just saving it as a document on your phone, and it's going to save right to your files. Okay, it's going to save right to your files. Great, so this is a document. It's already saved in a docs format right on our file. Okay, so that's how to pretty do it. So from the comfort of your home, from your phone, you could do a lot of things. Now move anything you're doing on docs automatically saves on your cloud, on your Google Drive. All right, so if you want to move it from one folder to another in your Google Drive, this is how you move it. Okay, so when we get to cloud storage, we'll see how we work with drives. All right, so I think this is pretty all about word processor. Thank you so much, and once you're done, you must always click on this checkbox to ensure that you have saved. You click on this checkbox that says you have saved. It saves automatically.